What it do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of The Axis of Combat, episode 83. New year, same old us. We're going to be covering UFC Vegas 101. Unfortunately, back in the Apex, but good to have some UFC back in our lives, know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna, my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next. Hugo ready to set some new PRs and some new betting records, make some good money this year.
Let's get it.
You already know. Before we get into any of that hoopla, into any of this business, you already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have the Tajik Eagle, Nurullo Aliev, going one-on-one with the Red Fox, Yanal Ashmouz. Aliev, perfect. 9-0, repping Tajikistan, hailing from Tajikistan, 24 years old. Ashmouz, 8-1, repping Israel, hailing from Israel, 29 years old. Have you ever seen a fox fight an eagle? I picked the fox in real life. I don't think I'm picking the fox in this fight, though.
I don't know. I think eagle will probably mess up a fox.
I don't know.
Because foxes are kind of small, aren't they?
I mean, what's a red fox? How big is a red fox?
That's a good question. I don't want to speak.
How big is an eagle?
Eagles are pretty big. They can pick up goats, which is crazy. I've seen them pick up goats and drop them from like far heights.
Well, my money's on the eagle in this one.
Yeah.
I'll start on the Aliev side. Undefeated. Perfect. Like previously mentioned. Repping Tajikistan. The first fighter to come from Tajikistan. Now, my man hasn't fought in over 2 years. Now, normally that'd be, a bit of a red flag. But he's only 24 years old. I'm assuming he's getting better in the meantime, in the time he's had off. Don't know why he hasn't fought in 2 years, but, we'll leave it at that. I hate bringing up that, he kind of fights like Khabib. A lot of guys from that region kind of fight like Khabib, but this guy kind of fights like Khabib. It's an easy, I guess, comparison to make. Obviously, not at Khabib's level, but,
Same beard, same everything, by the way.
Same archetype. Down to the damn beard with no mustache.
He marks out for the gimmick, bro. Baby Khabib.
Very good on the ground. Aggressive grappler. Okay stand-up. Ashmouz, I love this guy. Fighter. Dog. He's a dog in this fight.
Good cardio, too, by the way.
Great cardio. Decent striker.
Physicality on 10.
Also, decent takedown defense.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to stop Aliev from doing what he's got to do here, though. I think Aliev is going to be able to take him down.
I think it might go to decision. I think he's going to go to decision.
It's tough. Ashmouz is a guy I usually bet at dog money.
I think he goes to decision. This guy has... Aliev has only 2 knockouts, 7 decisions, and 9 victories.
Unfortunately, I think Ashmouz is one of these guys where I think his striking's good, but not great. I think his grappling is good, but not great. He kind of I bet him against Trevor Peek, and he kind of went life and death with the man. Yeah. I think that fight said more about Trevor Peek than it did I guess it was an indictment on Ashmouz and more of a glaze on
Well, I give him a little more credit for that fight because I think he was able to weather him. He was able to take him down repeatedly. I learned a lot about Ashmouz from that fight because you can show he showed he can fight at an uncontrolled pace and still outdog a dog, like a dog who's durable. I didn't hate that fight for him. I think it's very difficult for anyone to look good against Trevor Peek, to be frank. With that said, I'm with you on Aliev. I think this guy is the goods. I like him via decision here. Because I think Ashmouz is a tough customer, can grapple, can wrestle, physicality. He's going to have a dimensions disadvantage here because he has T-Rex arms, low-key.
He does.
But he's built like a brick shithouse. Dude cuts a lot of weight. You can tell to make the weight class. And it's only 3 rounds. It's not 5, so I'm not worried about extended, gas tank issues. What I will say is I think this line is a little out of control. I was just looking at it. They have Aliev at a minus 520. Ashmouz at almost a plus 400. I think he might be worth a dog shot because I do think he has skills. I think he has very good skills. And I think the Red Fox is a very underrated MMA fighter. I don't think he gets a lot of fights low-key because there's not a lot of people that are picking up the phone saying, yeah, I'll fight that fucking guy. That's where I think I'm at with Ashmouz. And when I have an idea of that, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to take a dog shot on him. Give me Aliev via decision, but don't be surprised if I sprinkle a little bit on Ashmouz at plus 400 odds, essentially.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have Victoria Dudakova going one-on-one with the Archangel, Fatima Kline. Dudakova, 8-1, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 25 years old. Kline, 6-1, fighting out of Hyde Park, New York, 24 years old. Another fight where similar styles. Two girls that prefer to grapple, decent striking on both ends, but I'm a little higher on the Kline side. I think Kline, rifle favorite, the line extremely wide. Don't really agree with that at all, but I do think Kline is probably the better wrestler. The striking, I think it's 50-50. I think Dudakova is probably going to have more volume, but I think Kline is probably the cleaner striker. Kline debuted a weight class up against Jazz Divizius.
Huge
and
girl.
I mean, listen, was able to take Jazz down.
Impressive.
Was able to, land some decent striking. She looked good in that fight, but obviously weight class up and the disrespect on the Jazz side, she shouldn't have been a favorite against Jazz, in my opinion.
I agree.
Made sure I made a little money off of that one as well. There's a lot of hype behind Kline. I get it. She trains in New York, training partners with Blanchfield. She's good. But let's slow down the hype a little bit here. Dudakova kind of does the same thing that she does here. I think the level of experience is a little off. I think Dudakova, rough start to her career, but slowly putting it together. I just don't think it's going to be enough to overcome Kline here. Give me Kline probably by decision, maybe even possible for a late round sub.
Agreed.
But I think Kline's the side.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Kline's is the goods, but you can't sit here and tell me justify a minus 800 line.
No, I don't.
I'm sorry.
It's way too wild.
Not you. I'm talking about like Vegas and the
of course.
I know you know what you're doing.
Vegas is wilding for this.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. This is women's MMA. This is a girl who's not proven. This is really her first official debut at this weight class against a girl that I think might be a little better than her as a striker. Not a lot better, a little better than her. I think Dudakova's a little cleaner. I do like Dudakova possibly to take a round off this girl. Dudakova has worked on her takedown defense. She showed in her last couple of contests.
Yeah.
And then she eventually gets overwhelmed. I think she got overwhelmed by Aileen Perez. Oh, she got overwhelmed. I apologize by Sam Hughes. But Sam Hughes is just a cardio freak.
Yeah.
Like, she's just tough to deal with for anybody. You've seen Dudakova gas against Sam, and Kline does put up volume and pace.
And she went hard rounds with Jasmine and didn't look tired at all. So
correct. But yeah, give me Kline. I like Kline here via decision, but via late round sub, I don't hate. And I definitely like Dudakova to possibly take a round. It's like that plus 3.5 prop. I think she could possibly take a round from Kline. Give me Kline though for the lean.
Next fight on the card at light heavyweight, we have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov going one-on-one with the debuting Bruno Lopes. Gadzhiyasulov, perfect, 9-0, fighting out of Bahrain, repping Bahrain, 31 years old. Lopes, 13-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 31 years old. Not too excited about this fight, if I'm being completely honest. Not too high on either one of these guys. I'm going to be leaning Gadzhiyasulov only because I think if he gets his wrestling and grappling going, he should be able to control Lopes enough to, get a decision win here. Lopes definitely got the power. A little low volume, a little, I think he overthinks a little too much in the octagon when he's in there. Don't like him defensively. I think he's very hittable. He's went down in both of his Contender Series fights. One, he got put out by, Brenson Ribeiro.
Who's raw as hell, by the way, and doesn't have great striking technique.
And also a common opponent between the two guys. Gadzhiyasulov beat him by decision, but
it was sweaty, but he won.
And,
He's a rightful winner.
And that was with wrestling, and that was with grappling. When it comes to the striking, I think Magomed is a little more technical, a little cleaner. Slight lean towards Gadzhiev. I think it's going to be a low volume striking fight until it's not, and then it's going to be kind of a sweaty grappling fight. It's going to be a bit on the, I don't want to say boring side, but maybe uninteresting side for a bit. I think overs are probably decent on this fight.
I was just going to mention that you mentioned overs off the podcast, and that was something that you were entertaining, and I agree with you.
With the slightest bit of confidence. I'm not too high on this one, but I think Gadzhiyasulov is the side. But I won't rule out Lopes lamping him either because he hits like a truck.
Yeah, this is low level 1-800 gamblers MMA. Like this is a spot where I think like you should highly consider other options on the card. You know, other betting props.
Maybe just skipping the fight altogether.
Maybe skipping the fight altogether. You know, I this is a fight that like it can go. There's a lot of variables here because both these guys are not really proven. One hits hard but doesn't have the best chin. The other guy can wrestle. I'm leaning Magomed like you just because of the wrestling upside, but I have no interest in playing this fight outside of overs. And if I see like a juicy under prop, I'll play it, you know, just because of the. But it has to be juicy. But I think it's gonna go over. I think this fight goes the distance more times than not.
Yeah, I don't think any fight is unplayable, but you know, because it all depends on, hey, maybe, you know, Vegas fucked up on the line and, you know, left something out there that's a little ripe for the picking. But
I think picking a side is 1-800 gamblers.
Yeah,
like that's
probably
where I'm at with this. Yeah. You might need to get some professional help.
But we got to make the picks, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm leaning Magomed like you, but man, not with a high degree of confidence. I love the overs in this fight, though.
Next fight on the card at women's flyweight, we have Ernesta Kareckaite. Oh man, I was doing so good with the names. I think it's Kareckaite. Heavy-handed is her nickname. Going one-on-one with the debuting Nicolle
Caliari. Yep.
Caliari. That's the way I'm pronouncing it. If I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. I'm sorry. But Nicolle Caliari. Ernesta, because I'm going to butcher her last name, is 5-1 overall. Fighting at Lithuania, repping Lithuania, 26 years old. Caliari, 8-2 overall. Fighting at Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 28 years old. Another women's fight on the card with two girls who kind of do the same thing. Almost, I don't want to say like a mirror match, but they both like to strike. Ernesta is going to be the side here for me, though. Ernesta is going to have like 6 inches in height, 9 inches in reach. She fights big. She's the less experienced girl between the two. I think the key to this fight is going to be physicality, as my brother's proudly putting on display there. I think if Caliari can get in on Ernesta and take her down, I think that's her direct path, because I don't think Ernesta's good on the ground when she's on her back. She has decent takedown defense, and partly that's because she's just extremely long and tall for the division. She's been working on her sprawling. You've seen that in her last fight. When it comes to the striking, I think it's a bit of a 50-50. I'm going to lean Kareckaite here only because she just throws in volume, and she's surprisingly more accurate than I think people want to give her credit for. Caliari, I know she's debuting. She's also an aggressive striker who kind of wants to get this fight to the ground. Her ground and pound is actually very decent, but her control is a little lacking, I guess, right? Leaves her head kind of on the center. She's always kind of open for shots. I think Kareckaite is the side here. I think she's the rightful favorite. As long as this fight stays standing, I think she can win this fight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the line's a little out of control, but pick for a low-level women's MMA fight. I love the split decision prop on this. I don't know why.
I can see split decision on this, actually.
If it's nice, I'll play it. But I don't. There's another fight that you should probably maybe make some reconsiderations when playing it.
Yeah,
just because it's. I just don't agree with like women's MMA fights being this like far lined. Unless it was like Yan Shannon. Think about it. This line is more open than Yan Shannon versus Tabitha Ricci. Which is crazy work. Nasty work. If you know what you're watching, it's like...
It's just the style, too, because we got a girl who should be able to get taken down, but I think her defense is a little underrated, versus a girl in Caliari who can get takedowns, but the way she gets them down is just it's body lock, and then not really a trip, but just like a power takedown. And
at this level, that's not a good look.
Yeah, I'm not. I think her takedowns are mediocre at best, to be honest. So it's like,
yeah, he wanted to say ass, but you know,
hey, 2025. My New Year's resolution is to try to be a little nicer.
All right, we'll leave mediocrely booty.
but I do think if it's a stand up fight, Kareckaite, she knows how to use her length. She throws in volume. She's sharp. And Calicari's face is just there to be hit.
I agree. Yeah, I won't add much on to that. I like possibly the overs here, and I'm leaning with you on Ernesta because I think she's just got the better tools and the better physicality. I 100% agree.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the debuting Bane, Andreas Gustafsson, going one-on-one with Triple P, Pressure, Preston Parsons. Gustafsson, 11-2, fighting out of Sweden, hailing from Sweden, 33 years old. Parsons, 11-5, fighting out of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, 29 years old. There's a lot of fights like this where they're kind of a bit of like mirror matches in the sense of like these guys kind of just want to do the same thing.
Good matchmaking on this card, low key.
These are two grapplers. Gustafsson debuting is gonna put Pressure's nickname to the test. Guy's super aggressive, a bit of a brawler, a bit of a knockout artist, but I think I don't want to say he's a little overrated, but I think Parsons is at the side here for me. I think he's the more technical striker. I think he might be the better wrestler. He might scramble a little better. I think I trust his cardio a little more. Gustafsson, not related to Alexander, not by blood, but by country. Mm-hmm. They got that Viking in them. If you imagine a Viking, if you just watch the movie Beowulf, maybe that he's gonna be fighting like that.
Not a real Viking, just a CGI one.
Just a CGI. Entertaining fighter. I think he does probably belong in the UFC. Dana was a little hesitant to sign this guy initially because he was a 33-year-old guy. He's on the older side. I just don't think he's going to cut it here against Preston. Preston. I think he's just the cleaner, more technical guy here, and I think he gets the win probably by decision. It's a little scary only because of the power on the other end. Parsons, a couple of his losses have been via knockout. So
yeah, I'm with you. Parsons is a lean here, but man, this is another fight. I hate to sound terrible. I don't want to sound like a broken record. This is another fight where I'm skeptical about laying juice on either side here. Got one guy unproven, kind of a brawler, kind of all over the place. The other guy, not really defendable. Lost to Trevin Giles. Lost to the Welsh gangster, which is that's gonna age well. I feel like Oban Elliott's goods.
He's very good.
He's very good.
But
when you're losing to Trevin Giles, man, and then he ran through Matthew Sellemsberger, that makes sense. I just feel like whenever he stepped up, he's gotten knocked down. I'm gonna lean Preston, man, but not with a high degree of confidence. I'll say by decision, but I don't know where I'm at with this fight.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Thiago Moisés going one-on-one with the Samurai, as his nickname, Trey Ogden. Moisés, 18-8, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 29 years old, surprisingly. Trey Ogden, 18-6, fighting out of Kansas, of the good US of A, 35 years old. Now, I said surprising on Moisés because every time I break down this guy's fights, he's been in the UFC for so long, he feels like the 35-year-old in this fight. I'm not going to lie to you. Very good fighter, well-rounded fighter, obviously from Brazil, so he's got that jits. But, he's got decent stand-up, got a couple of knockouts on his record. Just a solid overall fighter with a ton of UFC experience.
Correct.
He's going against Trey Ogden here, the older fighter. But I guess in my opinion, he might be the higher he wins his fights with his IQ.
You want a hot take too, just to jump in, I think he's less shop-worn.
He is less shop-worn.
How insane is that?
I agree with that.
Go ahead.
Jiu-jitsu specialist. Give me Trey Ogden for the win.
For the dog shot.
I can see this fight going one way. Well, the one way that I see it going is that he's going to jab. He's going to stay on the outside, a little bit on the low volume side. He's a very patient fighter. I think Trey Ogden's going to use that to his advantage. Then Trey Ogden, when he gets in on him, or when Moisés gets in on him, Trey's going to be on top. Decent control wrestler. He's going to do kind of the same thing that he did to Hollabog.
Yes.
Where he's just going to frustrate him. He's going to force Moisés to make the moves. I could see him just grinding out a decision win here. So give me Ogden. I'm tired of betting against this guy. I'm losing a lot of money. I think he squeaks a decision here. I don't think he's going to sub. I don't think he's going to knock out Moisés, but I can see probably split decision as well, but give me Ogden for the win here by decision.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on the dog play here. We seen this line that jumped out at us immediately off the podcast. After what he did to Hollabog, because I thought Hollabog was going to get him in a lot of trouble with a lot of his back work. Not saying that Hollabog and Thiago Moisés had the same level of jiu-jitsu player. I think Thiago's better. But I trust Hollabog's cardio more at this, which is crazy. I don't trust Thiago deep into fights. I have seen guys out physical him because he likes to play off his back too much. And in this game, when you are playing off your back too much, you are losing minutes. And when you're losing minutes, you're losing the respect of respectable gamblers who are trying to make an honest dollar off of you. It's just, you know, you never see Trey off his fucking back.
Yeah.
Never. He don't play those games. He's from that James Krause lineage outside of the illegal gambling and boosting people's accounts and obviously fixing fights. Trey is a good seed. Plus, post USADA, I don't want to say anything, but he looks like he's on some shit. And, you know.
I think he's just fit, man.
Sure. Look at him pre and post. You know, I think his fridge gotta look, his refrigerator in his house gotta look crazy. I guarantee you he has one for food and one for like preserving fucking IVs and needles. Allegedly. But my thing is, it's you know, I look at this, I don't trust Thiago's. I think Thiago's very shop worn, which is sad to say because I think he's one of the most overlooked fighters in his division since he's been in the division. But he's been fighting here for so long, has a lot of wear and tear on the tires, took a couple of beatings along the way, like bad beatings. He has the better skills. I just don't know if he's going to have the better fight IQ. And Ludovic Kline is not as physical as Trey Ogden. I think Trey's a little bigger than him.
I don't know if you put him side by side. I mean, Ludovic looked like he got a GNC in his house.
No, but remember, well, Ludovic is also moving up. Ludovic, I think, fought a weight class down.
Did he? I don't recall.
I'm pretty sure Ludovic fought at 45.
I think he did fight at 45 at one point.
Yeah, so if he moved up, and I'm not saying, obviously, you look at I agree with you, he's a specimen.
Yeah.
He built his body for 55. Trey is going to have the dimensions on him. He's 2 inches bigger, 1.5 inches reach, and knows how to fight from the outside, knows when to pick his shots, and underrated striker, like underrated fundamental striker. I like Trey. He knows how to win minutes here. I see the Hollabog situation as well. Give me Trey Ogden for the dog upset.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have a debuting Marco Tulio going one-on-one with Ihor Potieria. Tulio, 12-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 30 years old. Potieria, 21-7, fighting out of the Ukraine, hailing from the Ukraine, 28 years old. I think this smells like a bit of a setup fight for Tulio. At least that's what it looks like on paper. Tulio fighting coming out of the Chudo box, coming out of the Charles Oliveira camp. Solid overall fighter. I think he's leans more on his striking, but he does have the jiu-jitsu if the fight gets down there. But most of his wins are via KO. He's going against Potieria here, who usually, you know, Ukrainian guys, I give him +5 durability. I got a -5 durability for Potieria here. I might have to -6 or 7 because he can get clocked out.
Yes.
But unorthodox striker, underrated striker in my opinion. He's got fast hands, and this fight kind of stinks a bit. Only because I know to Potieria, I think he's like, he's 4 out of his last 5. He has been showing development in his game.
He has
been adding layers. His last fight was able to, you know, add takedowns. Debut fights are a little weird. Tulio, not the most aggressive. He should win this fight. I'm gonna be picking Tulio. I don't know if I got the balls to bet Potieria though. This might just be a stay away overall. This is probably dog or pass at the current line because Tulio is like -450 and up, right? Like he's got to be something super huge.
He's -5.
Yeah, that's very
insane.
big for a guy who's debuting against a guy who, even though he has been losing, again, has been showing that he's been adding layers and actually been trying to improve. On top of the fact that he's also a little unorthodox and will surprise you with a couple things in the octagon. Give me Tulio for the win. In terms of a bet, don't really have one, but I don't hate the dog here.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think this is one of the spots, if you have any considerations of playing Potieria, that it might be a strong consideration.
Could be a little sneaky here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think at plus 380 against a guy who's not proven, his striking's kind of all over the place a little bit. Doesn't really go to his wrestling as much as you want him to. And Potieria, a guy who is was fighting at 205. And now he's moving down to 85. He's gonna be the bigger guy in there. You almost want to see how he looks at weigh-ins. Because if he looks good in weigh-ins, I think he's live as hell.
He also, in my opinion, has the faster hands.
Which is, yeah, he has underratedly fast hands.
Like I think his striking's decent.
Outside of that mean back tat that he has on his chest.
Oh yeah.
That should be on his back.
That tat is hardcore, but yeah, it should be a back tat.
You ain't ever gonna question his religion.
Nah.
That's all I gotta say.
He be repping it.
Yes. But I think Potieria is live here, man. I watched Marco. I'm just, where's my man GSP at? I think for minus 500.
I think he should win. I think Tulio is probably the overall better guy, but I don't know.
It stinks.
He hasn't really wowed me.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
That's my man GSP.
He really hasn't wowed me, and at least in most of his recent fights. And not that Potieria is like
he's not a world beater,
good, but he's not terrible either. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, and he's improved, and he's big for the weight class. And his takedown defense and his takedown offense are better at this weight. Like
fight just smells. That's all I'm saying.
Plus 380 on a guy who's making a UFC debut, and I don't think we felt the same way about Homeboy in UFC Tampa. The guy from Stylebender's camp from City Kickboxing. Green as hell, and look how that fight went. Stood off of it.
That fight Tuco.
Yeah, we actually
Navajo.
Yeah, we actually made a small dog bet on that guy, on his opponent.
Yeah, and Tuco stinks, but
Tuco stinks.
He wasn't like
he didn't
Navajo ain't blow my socks.
He didn't cover that line.
No.
And then
hell no.
We didn't put a lot on Tuco, but he didn't cover that line, Navajo.
No, he didn't.
And this fight, I think, has more potential to have more upside for the dog than that one.
I agree.
So I think Potieria is live as hell here, man. And if that's the case, I'm gonna lean Tulio, because I do think he does have the tools to win this fight, but I'm gonna stand on business and say matter of fact, fuck the lean. I'm leaning Potieria. I'm standing on business. We're doing it. I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna lean Potieria.
Next fight at men's flyweight, we got Jose Johnson going one-on-one with Felipe Bunes, or Bunes? Bunes? I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name, but I'm gonna say Bunes. Johnson, 16-9, fighting out of Copperas Cove, Texas. I ain't never heard of that place before. 29 years old, going one-on-one with Bunes, who is 13-7, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 35 years old. This fight I kind of go a little back and forth on. When I seen it initially on paper, I picked Bunes. Won't lie to you. I'm still kind of leaning Bunes, but digging a little deeper into the Jose Johnson side, I don't think he's necessarily great, but I don't think he's necessarily as terrible as I remember. Was able to go 3 hard rounds with, I think, Amabayev, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. Yep,
correct.
Amabayev. Jose Johnson used to fight at 135, has moved down.
Which is crazy.
And now he's literally probably the biggest flyweight on the roster.
No, not statistically, ever.
Yeah.
Statistically ever, the biggest flyweight ever.
He knows how to use his reach. He knows how to use his length. He's got a lot of KO wins. He's a decent striker. Felipe also a decent striker. Interesting fight on the feet. I am going to be leaning Jose on the feet. When it comes to the ground, that's where it gets a little interesting. I think Jose, if he went to his wrestling, could probably control Jose.
Jose has shit takedown defense,
Bunes,
man.
But yeah, he can be taken down. That's the issue. Bunes, if he wants to take this fight to the ground, can and should and probably will take this fight to the ground. He probably has the better jiu-jitsu. I gotta lean him on the ground. There's something off about this fight. Can't put my finger on it. I'm gonna be leaning Bunes for the win. I think he's the dog in this fight.
No, Bunes is the dog. Sorry. Yes.
Johnson, I get why he's the favorite.
There's a clear path for victory for Bunes.
I think there's a clear path for both guys. I don't hate fight ends in sub. because both guys do have sub losses.
That's a good play.
This is a flyweight fight too, where both guys do kind of want to strike as well. So maybe ITD or just the unders in general, flyweight unders kind of hit once in a while. They're kind of a popular bet. I don't really hate it for this particular fight. Give me Bunes with minimal confidence. But I do like, in terms of a bet, depending on the numbers, obviously, but the unders, fight doesn't go, maybe fight ends in sub.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on Bunes. I keep you tied that up beautifully. I won't add much onto that. I think Bunes is the better all around mixed martial arts fighter. Jose Johnson has the physicality tools, but like I don't think he puts it together as well as Bunes. I think on the feet he does, but not from the all around game. And when a guy, as we mentioned in our last fight, likes to play off his back too much, like Thiago Moisés, it's just hard for me to as a gambler to get behind that. It really is. Like, you're gonna put your hard earned money on that. I don't know, man. It's just I don't think it's a great decision. But fight ends in sub. That sounds sexy. If it's a good number, I'll play it. That's a very good bet, actually, because I do think there's going to be a ton of scrambles in this fight, and Jose Johnson has memed and gotten memed before.
Yeah, he's got an active guard.
Yeah, he's lanky
he's also
too.
been twisted by Blackshear.
Yeah, Blackshear underrated, but
yeah.
But I do think Bunes, he has sub capabilities. He has subbing capabilities too. So, I'm with you on the fight ends in sub. That's how I would look at this fight. It depends on if it's a nice number. So give me fight ends in sub. Bunes is the lean, not with a high degree of confidence as well.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have Pune Soriano going one-on-one with the doctor, Uros Medic. Soriano is 10-4, fighting out of Hawaii, 32 years old. Medic is 10-2 overall, fighting out of Siberia. Actually repping Siberia, but fighting out of Alaska, 31 years old. Soriano, since he's moved down, he's only had one fight in his weight class, but I think moving down in weight is probably a smart move for him. His last fight showed that he can grapple and can go to the grappling. I think if he does go to the grappling in this fight, he can win. Uros Medic, decent takedown defense, but if you chain it the way he was chaining it, he could probably take him down. He could probably win this fight. Do I see it going that way? Hell no. I think Medic is the side here. I'm going to lean Medic. I'm going to be picking Medic. Medic, excellent striker. I think he's going to put it on Soriano. I think Soriano is going to break, and I think Soriano is going to get finished. Give me Medic here. Medic by some kind of stoppage, even though, Hawaiians, legendary for their durability. I think Medic gets this one done here.
Yeah, Soriano has a clear line of victory here. Like, he has a clear path with the wrestling if he goes to it. He did in his last fight, but like, I just feel like he's going to get memed in this fight. I'm with you. Call the medics. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Call the ambulance.
Police! Help!
Call somebody. Call somebody for some help.
Call the hotline. The emergency hotline.
Yeah. What is that? That Schwarzenegger movie? The bank? The blood bank? No, it's the Steven Seagal movie.
That's Steven Seagal.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to take you to, what is it?
I'm going to take you to the bank. The blood bank.
It's something like that, yeah.
So bad. But yeah, I feel there's a clear path of victory for Soriano here. I just don't trust him.
He's just a guy that historically doesn't wrestle. And I mean, his last fight did wrestle, but do I trust him to wrestle again? Maybe. I don't think so.
He's a guy I want to see on the scales. I want to see if he might be doing some shit post USADA. I want to see everything.
Allegedly.
His last fight was post USADA. So maybe there's something there. He's able to make 179 from 85. He might be on some, different kind of supplements allegedly that, help him make those cuts a little easier. Give him a little bit more stamina, I just think Medic is going to catch him with a good shot. This dude is lethal on the feet. He dumps. He hits so hard. I just feel, and the thing is, his understanding of distance management is something to behold. The thing is, he can get wrestled down, man. That's why I'm not extremely confident on this bet. But I just think over the course of 3 rounds, I think Medic is going to find his chin or find the body and take him out or just pick apart his legs.
His last loss was against Orbai, and Orbai
is a monster.
In 2 rounds, took that man down like 7 times.
He's a monster. Yeah, but he had to get up 6.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's the other thing. I think Medic has gotten better with his ability to get up. My gut, I'm going to go with my gut here. I think Medic is going to get it done. I think Medic gets it done via knockout.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have a debuting Austin Bashi going one-on-one with C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Bashi, perfect. 13-0, fighting out of Michigan, 23 years old. C-Rod, 11-2, fighting out of Milwaukee, 27 years old. Is Christian Rodriguez going to live up to his name of prospect killer? Bashi, a prospect that the UFC is kind of high on. Excellent cardio, uber aggressive grappler. Kind of looks like Ben Askren. Doesn't really fight like Ben Askren. I think he fights better than Ben Askren.
Everyone at this point fights better than Ben Askren.
Bashi's got decent striking, but I would say I think it's the weakest part of his game. He can strike if you need him to, but his bread and butter and where he wants to fight is on the ground. C-Rod can be taken down, can be controlled. The question in this fight is, can he do what the Midwest Chopper did?
You can make an argument C-Rod won that fight.
You can. I think he can. The more I think about it, I mean, Bashi, if you go down his resume, can go 5 rounds, can go hard 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Doesn't really gas. C-Rod, again, susceptible to takedowns. Hard to put away, though. C-Rod historically has only really struggled at featherweight and against guys who are bigger than him. This guy is at featherweight, is not bigger than him, but can push a pace on C-Rod. I can see this fight going the distance. I don't think anybody is going to finish anybody here. If there is a finish, it's probably going to come via sub. I don't think a knockout is in the books for this one. On the feet, I think Christian Rodriguez is the better striker.
Correct.
I think by far, actually, the better striker. If C-Rod can keep this standing, I think he can tune him up. But the way Bashi pushes a pace, how aggressive he is at taking the back and throwing hooks in, I think I'm going to lean Bashi here. In terms of a bet, it's tough. This guy's debuting. He's young. I think he's only 22, 23. 23 years old. Super young. Not that Christian is old. Christian's only 27, but it's a good fight between 2 young guys who have, I think, very decent potential in the division. But give me Bashi here. Don't know if I got the balls to bet it, though.
Yeah, I'm with you on Bashi because I think he is the goods. We have some parallels here, though, like relative to the rest of the card, like C-Rod and Potieria. I wonder what's the over-under for them making weight. Potieria, I have some concerns, but the last time he fought, it was kind of on short notice. That's why he didn't make the weight. C-Rod gets 4 camps, doesn't make weight. Don't know if he's going to make weight. Does this fight even happen? I want to see where the C-Rod line goes because I think plus 200, close to it, is suitable. I'll be frank, because he can be taken down. And this is a guy who I think can push a pace for rounds. I like Bashi by decision, by the way. I don't think he finishes C-Rod here. I think C-Rod's very skilled. I think C-Rod is underrated as shit, to be frank. But I do feel that if this line gets out of control, I don't hate a dog play here either. I think Christian is better than him on the feet. I think Christian can mitigate a lot of what he does on the floor and not get stopped here. And if you're telling me it's a C-Rod fight, which is going to be classic, probably split decision, which has capabilities.
I don't hate that look either, to be honest.
We'll see what happens. I feel there's split decision written all over this, low key. It can happen. If Bashi dominated him via the unanimous, I'm not going to be surprised. But if this got pushed to a decision, it was a split decision, but I'd be surprised. No. So we got to see. This is a value play spot, in my opinion. I think you got to find your spots and see what looks good. I want to see weigh-ins for this fight. I want to see if Christian even makes weight. Does this fight even happen? Because if he misses by 5 pounds, they're going to put him in there with Bashi. I don't know. Bashi might be a badass, but I wouldn't recommend that. But give me Bashi. I'm going to say via decision, but We'll deliberate as the week goes on with that one.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have the Action Man Chris Curtis going one-on-one with Roman Kopylov. The Action Man, 31-11, fighting out of Vegas, 37 years old, going one-on-one with Kopylov, who is 13-3, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 32 years old. Definitely one of the more interesting fights on this card for sure. Probably one I'm kind of looking forward to because of the styles, right? Chris Curtis, excellent counter striker, a little bit on the low volume side. He is a little older, great takedown defense. even though his last fight, Brendan Allen was able to mix it up and actually, I think, take him down more than I think I've seen him getting taken down in the UFC to date. Going against Kopylov here, who I think on paper is the better striker. He's got more tools, kickboxing background, whips that leg up, hits hard, fast starter, does have some cardio issues. He will mellow out as the fight goes longer, I guess, if you want to say it like that. Can mix in takedowns. Doesn't have to worry about takedowns in this particular fight because Chris Curtis does not shoot takedowns. I don't think he's shot a takedown in his life. Maybe since the amateurs or something.
I'm pretty sure he's capable too, but
definitely not in the UFC.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting fight because Kopylov has only lost to people who can grapple him or have threatened to take down or anything with any kind of wrestling, because it'll wear on him. He starts to get a little tired and he loses. Right? As simple as that. Chris Curtis is not going to wrestle him. Chris Curtis is also a little low volume.
A lot of low volume.
Chris Curtis is an excellent counter striker, though. I don't know how to lean. I don't know what to lean in this fight.
Chris Curtis also coming off of a knee injury from the last fight with Brendan Allen and older.
Which probably determined who won that fight because he blew his knee out.
I thought he won the fight even when he blew his knee out.
It was in the last round, right?
Yeah, I thought he won the fight even though he blew his knee out.
I kind of want to lean Kopylov, but I mean, the Action Man definitely got the better resume. I can see the fight going the distance. Actually, I don't know. I can see it kind of a knockout too, to be honest. Man, this one's tough.
It's a hard fight to cap. But I think if you play Curtis, you got to play him late. I don't think you could play Curtis straight. I think you play rounds 2 or 3. I don't know if he's going to win the decision here.
I think KO or decision is definitely
third round of decisions.
2 viable paths for both guys.
Yeah, I would say third round of decision for Curtis.
You think so?
That's how I would play it. I just don't I think Kopylov is very good on the feet, underrated hand speed, can wrestle.
Thing is, Kopylov is not really going to get uber tired because he's not going to get wrestled into. So it's like
he's in a dance. I look at, and the thing is, Curtis is durable. So I just feel like Kopylov decision or Curtis third round of decision. That's how you play.
Curtis has been knocked out before, right? I think once.
By who?
I got you right now.
Listen, Stylebender said he's a bear on his hind legs. And I can't unsee it though.
Oh, by Ray Cooper.
Oh yeah, but Ray Cooper thumps. And that was when Ray Cooper was Ray Cooper.
But Kopylov could thump. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, I know
Kopylov's never been knocked out either.
Brendan Allen hurt him too, but
Kopylov only got 2 sub losses.
It's a great fight.
It's a great fight.
It's a great fight. Listen, I seen Curtis literally only get knocked out by headbutts at the UFC level. So for me, it's like
was that
Calvin Gosselin's right? Big ass dome. But like I said, a bear in his hind legs.
That's what I'm saying.
That is so accurate. I love Chris Curtis. We love, if you've tuned into this podcast, we love Chris Curtis. I'm gonna lean Kopylov here, man. But man, not with a high degree of confidence. This fight, if Curtis decides to kind of go after him the same way he did with Brendan Allen, but remember, he went after Brendan Allen a little bit more because he already had 3 rounds of information on him. He's already been in there with him. Then he had 5, so he was able to go after him a little faster. Kopylov might give him a whole bunch of different looks because he likes to reset his positions a lot, likes to reset the L step, likes to change angles, likes to throw high kicks. His front leg is very fast, like electrifyingly fast, and was able to outstrike Almeida and then control him.
Yeah, with the wrestling.
So Chris Curtis does have high takedown defense. Brendan Allen was able to get him down, and then he was able to pop back up. I do think Kopylov can get him down, but I think Chris Curtis will get back up.
Is that energy that Kopylov wants to spend too?
I agree. I think he just dances on the outside. But the safety that is there, if he starts getting pressured, he can run into him and probably get him to the floor. You're leaning Kopylov or Curtis?
I think I'm gonna lean Curtis. No, you're leaning Cap, right?
I'm leaning Cap.
Yeah, listen, I'm flip-floppy on this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
I got to make a pick. So officially, I'm gonna lean Curtis, I think.
I'll lean Kopylov, and I think I can speak for both of us when I say that's subject to change later this week. It's a great fucking fight. Like this is a fight where since there's so many variables, we should probably stay away from it. But somehow we're gonna figure out a way to bet this because I feel like there's value here somewhere.
We always do.
Yeah, especially if the unders, that's something to look at. But I don't know. Like I feel like this fight can go to decision. This is a fight you should probably stay away from. Like low key, I think so. There's just too many variables in this fight. There's too many this and that. But I would say Kopylov decision or Curtis third round decision. That's how I would play it. You know what? Actually, I got another one for you. Some value. Where's my man Canelo at?
Payday.
Split decision.
Yeah. I can see split decision here too.
I'll take that. That might be the play.
If somebody doesn't get leveled, but
Yeah, split decision. Because I feel like they're going to both have their moments. And Kopylov also can be low volume later in the fight. So, split decision. I'll take that. Kopylov, he's on Curtis, but subject to change. I think split decision might be the play here, though.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, or Al-Hassan. Don't know how to pronounce it. Don't want to disrespect. Judo Thunder going one-on-one with Cesar Almeida. Razak is 12-6, fighting out of Arlington, Texas, but repping Ghana, 39 years old. Almeida, 6-1 overall, fighting in Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 36 years old. Two older gentlemen here. I would be picking Razak if I can trust that he can go to the wrestling here, because that's the only way I think he's going to beat Almeida. Almeida, if this fight stays on the feet, Almeida is just a way better striker. You know, you're probably going to hear it ad nauseum. He's fought Pereira. He beat Pereira by decision in kickboxing. Super calm striker in there, whips the leg. He never looks like he's in a panic when he's in a fight. Takedown defense, especially against the cage, very good.
Yeah, and by the way, even in open space, knows how to get up a bit.
Yep, in an open space, he knows that he needs to scoot. He knows he needs to post. He knows how to get up.
Correct.
Abdul, uber aggressive. Kind of got fucked out of his last fight against Cody Brundage.
He was working him.
He was working that man like a summer job, as my brother would say.
Yes.
But, you know.
Cody took the easy way out. I respect it.
Cody got hit in the back of the head.
I take the win and the money.
He got out of there.
I take the cash and the respect.
Abdul wasn't too happy about that one.
He did it to himself, though.
But Abdul comes out like lightning.
Yeah.
Even though his name is Judo Thunder. But like thunder, you never see the judo. You never see the lightning. You just hear about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
If, like I said, I think the last time Razak has actually wrestled was against Joaquim. If he can go to that wrestling, I think he can win.
Did he win that fight?
No.
Which is hilarious. Yeah.
But I don't trust him to do it. I don't trust him to do it, so I can't pick him. I got to pick Almeida here. Almeida, a lot of kickboxing experience. Not that much MMA experience, but has been showing layers, has been improving. And again, if this fight is on the feet, he's the better striker. Even though Razak is powerful, explosive, dangerous, not as technical. Give me Almeida here for the win. I don't really have anything here bet-wise. I would have to check the lines to see if anything really sticks out. I don't want to force anything. Don't want to give you anything that, I'm not thinking about or I'm overthinking about. But,
Yeah, there's a clear path to victory for Abdul, but, man, he does not go to it. He does not go to the well there. And, Judo Thunder might as well just be Thunder because he doesn't do judo.
Like, you hear about it.
Yeah.
But you don't see it.
You don't see it.
So,
for me, I got to lean Caesar just because I trust his get-up game. I trust his improvements. Yeah, he lost to Kopylov, but that's a guy who can strike with him and mix in the takedowns.
And he mixed in the takedowns in there. Yeah.
And was able to throw Caesar off his game. Caesar's going to be able to see the takedown a lot better from Abdul than he did against Roman.
Yeah, Razak, he comes in there swinging bombs, haymakers.
And the thing is, I just want to hear Abdul go off on a rant about Joaquin. Joaquin's a bitch. Fuck him. He's a bitch.
Every chance he gets.
And, he's going to get set back, and Joaquin just moved up, beating up Kobe Covington. So I think Abdul, especially if he gives up that clip, I know it's over because I know his head's not in the right space.
Yeah.
Caesar, and this is a fight, like I said, another fight where the guy has a clear path of victory. Like Soriano, I just cannot trust him to go to it.
Yeah.
I just cannot, man. And for that reason, I'm going to lean Caesar Almeida here, man. I think he gets it done. I think he probably knocks him out. But he could pick him apart and take it the distance too. But I think he's going to knock him out. I think Abdul walks into too many shots. Joe Pyfer did the same thing to him. He kind of walked into Joe's hands, and Joe took care of his ass.
For me, it's just one of those things where Razak has a clear path, but you can't trust him to go to it, so you can't bet the Razak side.
No.
Then you really can't bet the Almeida side because he's clearly the better striker, but the grappling hole is so big there, especially if he takes him down in the middle of the octagon.
Correct.
Like Razak's got the size to hold him down. Razak's a big dude.
And the thing is, I also trust Caesar's cardio late in fights. I think Abdul gasses a little bit. I just feel if that knockout line is nice, I'll play it. But I just see him walking into a big shot, getting flushed, knocked the fuck out in this fight. All respect to Abdul. I like him too, but I just think there's a bad matchup for him, low key. Give me Caesar. Give me Caesar by knockout.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the Argentine dagger, Santiago Ponzinibbio, going one-on-one with Mozambique Carlston Harris. Ponzinibbio is 29-8, fighting out of Argentina. Actually, repping Argentina, but fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. 38 years old. Harris, 19-6, fighting out of Brazil, but repping, how do you pronounce that country there? Guyana? Guyana?
Guyana.
Oh my God.
All right.
37 years old. Currently constituted. It's looking like the co-main event here. We got two very older gentlemen here going one-on-one to determine who is the better of the old. And this one's tough because I think I'm leaning Pons. I think if both these guys are in peak, skill for skill, Pons is the better striker, decent takedown defense, doesn't really get into too much trouble when it comes to grappling. Carlston Harris, not that good of a striker, but he does have power. He's a little unorthodox, and his bread and butter is literally jiu-jitsu and grappling. Two older guys, Ponzinibbio, kind of doing his commentator gig thing on the Spanish UFC side. Don't know how committed he is. He is on a bit of a losing streak. He's lost his last two. He's lost 4 out of his last 5.
And you could argue he won every one of those fights outside of the one he got stopped in, if I'm correct.
Yes. His last fight was against Salikov. It was a split decision loss.
You could argue he won that fight.
Could argue he won that fight, but it was against a 40-year-old Salikov. Now, is Harris as washed? We don't know. Is Santiago washed? We're here to find out. Are both these guys fighting for the jobs?
Possibly.
I'm going to lean Pons. Not too much confidence in this. I think he's the dog.
It's a pick'em.
Is it a pick'em? It's just a tough fight. I'm going to lean the striker in a grappler match, which probably is going to bite me in the ass here. Give me Pons here. Super low confidence, and I don't know how I'm going to bet this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean the other side here. I think I'm going to lean Carlston Harris, and I'm going to lean the grappler in a striking match. He's only been stopped by Shavkat Rakhmonov and Chaos Williams. Like, Chaos Williams caught up with a flash drop, and he can do that to anybody. And Shavkat is Shavkat Rakhmonov.
He's Rakhmonov.
Right?
Yeah.
So, for me, it's like the strength of competition, I think, leans to Santiago, but I think Carlston's fought the best in this division at this point. The future champion, in my opinion. I feel like Carlston, he's very tricky, and he's very good at exploiting jiu-jitsu scrambles.
You could also argue that Santiago is probably a little more sharp-worn of the two for sure.
Absolutely. He fights more. It was crazy enough. He fights more often, and he doesn't fight often at all.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious.
That's bars.
But, and the Carlston's worse than that. So his inactivity scares me, but I do feel like Carlston's grappling is elite. I mean, he's sub Jeremiah Wells, dude. And you have to weather Jeremiah to get in on him to sub him. So for me, it's like, if he can weather that guy who's much quicker than Santiago at this point with the striking, I think Santiago does have like sneaky power, but I feel I like the unders in this fight, low key. But I feel like Carlston's gonna be able to exploit his neck at some point in this fight, or be able to get him to the floor and get his back. Yeah, and then if that happens, he's gonna sub him.
I don't hate that. This kind of does feel like an under bet.
Yeah.
Like a fight doesn't go kind of fight.
It's a worn guy versus a guy who's kind of chinny.
Yeah.
One has power and one can be exploited on the floor. I mean, this is tailor-made for the under. I hope it's 2.5 because I'll slam the shit out of it. It's plus money. So give me Carlston Harris, man, but I'm with my brother here. Not a high degree of confidence.
Next fight on the card, and as currently constituted the main event of the evening, we have Mackenzie Dern going one-on-one with Amanda Ribas. And this is a run back from a fight 5 years ago, or almost 5 years ago. Mackenzie Dern is 14-5, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. But she is Brazilian, 31 years old. Ribas, 13-5, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 31 years old. As previously mentioned, this is a run back for almost 5 years ago. Ribas, in that fight, handed Dern her first L in the UFC and did it kind of easily. Ribas, in my opinion, the better striker, the more well-rounded MMA fighter. I'm going to be leaning Ribas again. This one's kind of like weird to break down because I feel like both women have improved, but both women are kind of still in the same lanes they've been in terms of like
how crazy is that? Yeah.
Their skill set is not like Dern has gotten better into striking, but still kind of a mediocre striker. Dern also has gotten better in getting takedowns, but still not that good at getting takedowns. Ribas, the better striker in my opinion, got the faster hands. Whenever Dern threw 2, Ribas landed 4. Ribas also not afraid to sit in her guard, got jiu-jitsu. I don't see this fight being that much different from the last fight. Probably a little closer, but still, I mean, it's Ribas' fight to lose. Give me Ribas by decision. It's a 5-round fight. I don't see any girl finishing anyone here. In terms of a bet, if I can bet knockdowns, that's probably the way I would lean. That's a very boxing way to bet this fight, but Ribas, not the best chin. Mackenzie, probably the more powerful of the two, but can get clipped as well. But I kind of just see this as a repeat of the 2019 fight or whenever they fought. Give me Ribas for the win here, probably by decision. That's all I really got for this one.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm with you for a couple of reasons. Ribas the better striker. She's coming down from 25. She's physically going to be the bigger girl, even though Mackenzie Dern has an inch in height on her. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but Ribas has 3 inches in reach. The only thing that worries me about Ribas is her durability, because she does not wear damage very well, and Mackenzie can put up a ton of volume. But the thing is, like, we kind of seen it in the first fight where Mackenzie kind of fought the same way anyway, and Ribas was able to pick her apart. What I do like in this fight as well too is takedowns. I like takedowns a lot on the Ribas side because she does tend to go for that head and arm throw, and Mackenzie Dern, like Thiago Moisés, like a couple of other people on this card, like to play off their back too much for my liking as a gambler. I feel that Ribas is going to win the minute here. She's going to win the cage pushing opportunities. Mackenzie's going to welcome the cage pushing opportunities. She's also probably going to jump guard a few times, and she's going to get taken down from jumping guard.
Whatever she can do to get this fight to the ground, she will try to get this fight to the ground.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Mackenzie Dern, not the highest fight IQ fighter here, man. I mean, just what it is.
Like I said, I think she's made general marginal improvements in her game, but I still feel like it's pretty much the same game plan with her. Essentially, it's always been the same game plan with her.
Correct. And it's crazy how like identical they are. They're like the age and everything, the country, everything. I just feel like besides Mackenzie Dern making physical improvements with her strength and conditioning, what has she really done? Her wrestling's not that good. I don't think it's ever going to be that good.
I think it's gotten better, but it's still ass.
And the thing is, Ribas can handle herself. Plus, like I said, Ribas loves to go to the head and arm throw, and she's very good at nailing it. She nailed it on that bodybuilder the other day, if you see it on her Instagram, which is hilarious.
She had a very entertaining fight against
Rose Namajunas.
And
was able to take Rose down, which is not easy to do, and control her in certain spots, and hang with Rose on the feet. So my thing is, if she can do that with Rose, I feel like she can do that with Mackenzie, because Rose would tune up Mackenzie.
And that's a weight class up as well, because they both fought at 125 on that one. Even though Rose is pretty much a strawweight as well. But
correct. But Rose would piece up Mackenzie Dern.
100%.
In my opinion. With all due respect.
With all due respect.
Mark Jackson voice, you know what I'm saying? With all due respect. But I just feel like if she could hang with Rose, and she made a lot of good decisions in that fight with the range management and not getting herself into trouble, not letting Rose get off with her power, not her letting her get off too much with her combination punching. I just feel like if she can do that and she's willing to hang with Mackenzie in the first fight, Mackenzie's jiu-jitsu hasn't gotten better. It's probably gotten worse because she hasn't made it a predominant focus in her game. She's had to round out her game. I just feel like, dude, this is a Ribas decision, man. Mackenzie's durable. If you want to bet Mackenzie, I think you got to bet the sub here. I don't think she's going to win minutes in this fight. That's just me.
I agree.
I have a hard time. It's going to look a lot like the first fight.
Unless there's some kind of flash KO. But
yeah. But I feel like it's going to be a club and sub.
Yeah, probably club and sub.
I don't see Ribas like going down and then staying down.
No.
I'd be very surprised.
She's not the type to just lay on her back. She's going to work her way up, get up, use her footwork, make this fight as difficult as possible for Mackenzie.
Correct. I don't see a sub happening unless it's on the Mackenzie Dern side.
Yeah.
But then if Ribas caught in a sub, would I be surprised?
That'd be kind of nuts.
That'd be nuts. But I feel like Mackenzie's gonna tune her up. Get tuned up on the feet. I really do. And the thing is, Mackenzie hasn't shown me the wrestling. This is a show me fight for her. Until then, she's a fade. Give me Amanda Ribas via decision.
And that does it, ladies and gentlemen, for UFC Vegas 101. Way to kick off the new year. Welcome back, UFC. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, the podcast. I'm happy to be back. New year, same me? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe better me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, brother, take us home.
You already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual part of this podcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Love you guys. Happy New Year. Welcome to the new year. Let's make some gains. Let's make some money. I feel like we're gonna have a big year this year. Tune in. I expect us to continue this heater that we finished off, from last year. Joaquin Buckley for like 3 units. You already know. Right? For all the doubters, we call that to a T. Tune in, learn something, holla at you. See you next week for episode 84. Holla at you. Take it easy, guys. Love you. Peace.